You know, when you're making a new video, sometimes it feels like a speed run where I finish it and I'm like, man, 24 minutes? I can cut like 5 minutes off that. I can PB so much faster. And then you make another one, and then it's 27 minutes. You're like, man, what did I do wrong? And then you make a third one, and you're like, okay, 23:30. I guess I just suck at this. You know, so we're gonna try speedrunning it again, and go on from here, right? Welcome to the state of the galaxy, boys. It's finally happened. We are here, and I'm excited. I truly am. That's probably why I have so much time on this. You can see that we have the Ninth Sister hanging out here, and they're telling us that for sure we're getting the rest of the Inquisitors, but they also mentioned the Rebels era of the Inquisitorious people, which leads me to believe that maybe some of the characters we're going to be getting from the squad are going to be more in the Rebels era of, how do you put it, the Inquisitorious lineage. Maybe giving us a chance to see other characters from the Rebels era. Not likely, though. We're definitely going to be pushing more into the Fallen Order world, especially with a second game coming out. Cal Kestis confirmed. Moving on, we will talk about the kit a little bit later. We have the TIE Fighter Interceptor, of course. They're talking about it like, oh man, it's bringing all this good stuff to the game, trying to diversify our fleets a little bit more. And then they went, check it out, boys! First Order and Resistance ships as marquees? When was the last time we had a marquee ship? I honestly don't remember. It's been so long since we've seen a ship unlock at 3 stars. Wow. Crazy to really think about it. They're both tanks for both their respective First Order and Resistance fleets. Yeah, that's sick. This one's going to be a stealth tank, which I don't know exactly how it's going to work, putting the entire team under stealth. I feel like it's going to be really susceptible to rebels, but I'm down for anything. It might still be amazing. It might be similar to TIE Bomber in the way it reduces damage of the enemy. Maybe while they're under stealth, it gains a ton of armor. Who knows? Who knows? I'm no genius. I'm no kit developer. I'm more excited about the Resistance Bomber, though, because the Resistance literally only have 3 ships, which is awful. And it's going to be the tank to round out their fleet, maybe. Hopefully they get a 5th ship, really. I'm really rooting for a 5th ship. But any Cubs fan Han guys out there? We did it, right? We got there, boys. The Resistance finally has its bomber, as it should have, on release. But hey, I digress. Okay. Hopefully this ship finishes its bombing run to devastate the enemy. Hopefully this is some big thermal detonator charge, a huge bombing run on like the entire enemy. Maybe some Boba Fett vibes, maybe, is kind of what I'm getting for this. We hope, we pray. They go on to talk about the Conquest update, giving us the data discs. I'm not really going to go over that. I'm not too worried about it. We're getting back, I think, cooling systems, right? We'll go over it for a second. Here's a list of the new data discs, but we're also getting the old ones. They don't talk about the old ones we're getting. I'm pretty sure we're getting advanced cooling systems. They have a bunch of these cool critical formation guys, which are really sick. I like actually all of the critical stuff. Definitely going to try that in my Conquest. With that quick synopsis over, we're going to move on to the release of how characters work in here. So it sounds like there's going to be a 5-spot rotation for these characters, as I understand it, right? Because that's how many we have currently in Razor Crest, Maul, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, and the TIE Fighter. So with all 5 of these characters existing, Razor Crest will finally become a farmable character. So it sounds like there's going to be 4 spots in which we rotate inside of Conquest, and the 5th spot will be rotating it into a farmable place outside of Conquest. We still don't have a confirmation on where that is yet. We're going to have to get through this Conquest season of 13. We will get Razor Crest farmable at 14 if they're not lying to us. We hope and pray, boys. We hope and pray. What's the meta with you is the big talking point of this state of the galaxy. They're really trying to show you the hierarchy of how they create characters and where they kind of want them to land on the board of working versus non-working, right? So we have our marquee galactic chase characters, We have our Journey Guide characters, our Galactic Legends, and then our Galactic Legends with a counterpart from the Conquest selection of units. So when you think about that, right? Us as players, when we think of like our A class teams and our B class teams, we're not thinking anywhere near this, right? The Galactic Legends are in a tier of their own. That a Galactic Legend was supposed to counter a Galactic Legend, right? Is kind of how we've seen it. We saw that the addition of the Conquest counterpart we thought was going to be huge because obviously Kenobi and Ahsoka were crazy strong, but Lord Vader and Maul were super weak comparatively, almost laughably so. And we thought maybe that means that it's just kind of the balance of the kit. The Conquest character was not going to be a necessity to the power level of the character coming out. But as they've just stated, they plan on it being that way. That's how they expect us to get characters in that sense. So that's an interesting thought to come out of development. Especially when it comes down to like what we're farming currently. They're trying to make sure that we push for Galactic Legends. Right? Make sure that we make our way to them. Because the Marquee and Journey Guide characters, they're actually... Everything seems so close on their tier list. Which is it kind of weird to me. It's something I want to talk more about, but I don't know really how to put it into words. I need someone to like bounce off of when it comes to this, because there's a lot to like chew on with just this simple four dot tab. But with this, they're also talking about they've given you a caveat of highly synergistic squads with comparable mods, and I think this is one point that they're pointing towards. Hey, maybe that Kylo Ren counter sounds weird, right? And then they also come down a little bit more to, where is it? When the investigate a balanced team composition, mods, ability, ultimate, gear, relic levels, and the consistency of the counterplay make a role in the final decision, right? They're trying to make sure that we don't under-relic our characters. Or, I should say, a Relic 3 character is not very good at defeating a Relic 8 or 9 character, which still is not quite the case because of the way kits work. So I wonder what they're trying to do to combat that. I guess is make, like, when they go to Relic 8 to 9 and 9 to 10, the boost is really good for some characters, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe characters that are being countered by lower gear characters to kind of push people to farm up maybe more damaging characters or less tanky characters. Not sure what they're trying to point at here. But they're definitely talking about nerfing something because they don't want to step on the toes of theory crafters. However, they want to make sure that higher value units are higher value. And I don't quite know what this means, since Galactic Legends are as high of a value, and half the time when we're countering Lord Vader nowadays, I say we, content creators, because Lord knows I ain't got none of that. The people I live vicariously through, when they're countering Maul, usually it is with like a Stormtrooper, Royal Guard, some Force user that isn't Maul, and then like sometimes Piet, sometimes Gideon, you know, some of these other just like powerful Empire characters to try and push that character forward. It's still not working, but it works better than when Maul's in the lineup, because when Maul's in the lineup, we're still beating it with the Kylo Ren thing. So I guess they're trying to really push that Conquest hero, but with them stating that, I don't know if they should have said that. I think they could have just kept it where it was and just buffed Vader so that he was like more on par with not being killable by lesser things in Galactic Legends. I think people wouldn't have problems with Lord Vader if he was on a similar level to other Galactic Legends, but as it stacks up right now, the things that beat him that other Galactic Legends can do, it seems a little bit kind of gross comparatively to other Galactic Legends. Which is weird to say, because like not a lot of Galactic Legends beat him. I don't know if it's like a face value thing and we just don't see it. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's the weird teams that beat him, like the Triumvirate If they just had more damage, they'd actually would just beat the entire team, which is crazy when you think about it. The only thing that saves Lord Vader is that like he gains a ton of tank stats and lifesteal. That's the only thing that saves him, which is a bananas thing to think about. Synopsis here. Look out, people who've invested in Night Sisters for their Kylo Ren. I am sorry in advance if it happens to you. Exciting news though, right? Defense Pen is coming back in some way, shape, or form. Probably on some form of Inquisitorious unit. So like I'm kind of sad that I'm not going to be getting it anytime soon. However, it is still exciting. I like the concept of being able to have a tank buster within my roster. It's finally back as a percentage, and I am happy about that. Of course, it's never going to live up to like the past, but that's because dealing true damage is broken. So I don't know what to tell you on that one, brother. What else do we have? They have a little synopsis of like what they're trying, how they're trying to like, how they feel and how they want to make sure the community understands how they want to release stuff. That's on them, not on me. However, exciting things, right? The next phase of Gear Intervention, Grand Arena update, and the Omicron updates will be coming in the next Road Ahead, which is big. I didn't hear about any of them in the big State of the Galaxy things, which is kind of disappointing, which means I hope that the Road Ahead is very literally devoted to Gear Intervention and maybe the Grand Arena update, and then Omicrons are a part of something else that isn't the Road Ahead, maybe just dev insights and stuff like that. I really want a big thing for this Gear Intervention to see how they tackle the crunch that is put upon us, especially as they are now, it seems, adding more ways to release characters more consistently. Hopefully they add more ships, but you know how it is. Hopefully we get more than these two. Hopefully this isn't our shipload of content. I know that wasn't like what they meant when they said it, but I would like them to release a shipload of content for us. You know what I mean? Moving on off of this, I want to go talk about the Ninth Sister. So is this her kit reveal? This is her kit reveal. Let's go. We'll do this and then we'll hop into the dev insights. Just get this all done together. She is a tank leader, Inquisitorious Empire, unaligned force user. I think she's sick. You're gonna see why. So first off, her basic final text: deal physical damage to target enemy, then deal physical damage again, dealing 40% more damage. Inflict 1 stack of purge, maximum of 6, on target enemy for the rest of the encounter. If the target is Jedi, if this inflicts a 2nd stack of purge and cannot be resisted. So this is huge. Second Sisters was a chance to inflict on nothing. This inflicts on anything, always. So we're going to be usable against Jedi, where Second Sister feels really worthless if she's not against Jedi. On top of that, we are dealing 2 stacks if they are Jedi. Big. I like it. I'm excited. Moving over to Not Worth My Time, final text: deal physical damage and consume all stacks of purge on target enemy. For each stack of purge removed, inflict that many damage over time effects on target enemy for 1 turn. And Ninth Sister gains that many heal over time effects for 1 turn. If the target is a Jedi, dispel all of their buffs. Which means she's going to have a fantastic home. You guessed it, alright? Emperor Palpatine, here we come, okay? At worst, that's going to be a fantastic place for her. If this Inquisitorious squad turns out to be kind of a dud somehow after this character releases, you know, we definitely have a home for her there. You'll see what I mean when we get to this ground pound ability, because that's nuts. In a Palpatine squad, I should say. And kind of in an Inquisitorious squad, as long as all of them have abilities like this that are guaranteed and not like Second Sister that is not. So, moving on to the ground pound, the final text: it is a Zeta. When's the last time you saw a Zeta on like an ability instead of on like a unique and stuff? Like maybe it's recent, I just don't remember it, but you know, it feels new. Deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict daze, defense down, and potency down for 2 turns, which cannot be resisted by Jedi. Ninth Sister gains taunt for 2 turns for each enemy inflicted with purge, and damaged by this ability, Ninth Sister gains 10% defense, stacking max to 50% for 2 turns. Kind of sad that it only stacks max to 50%, but you know, that's how many characters exist, so I don't know how it would stack more than that unless you're placing like GOs. Kind of wish we could have, it didn't have a maximum, so if we somehow could game the system, I would love to game the system, but the cooldown's 4, so I don't know why the max is here. I'm gonna be real with you. However, we have the leader ability, and it's pretty sick on its own, actually. Can't stop the Empire. It's a Zeta and an Omicron. So for the Zeta, all allies, just in general, just in case you missed this real quick, allies are immune to speed limiting effects. Not Inquisitorius allies, not Empire allies, just allies. Which is huge for some Jedi Knight Luke counterplay. For those of you who are in that spot where Luke is a problematic team, hey. Whenever an enemy gains bonus turn meter, all Inquisitorius allies gain 2% potency and 2% tenacity stacking for the rest of the encounter. If that enemy is a Jedi, they have 50% chance to gain a stack of Purge until the end of the encounter. While in territorial wars, all Empire allies gain 20% defense, and all Inquisitorius allies are immune to ability block, and stun. That is, that's a good one. I really like that. That's going to make it really good. I don't know if it's going to be actually good in territorial wars. Not entirely sure. But I like the idea of ability block and stun not affecting any of my 5 characters. That sounds sick. Also, like I said, we beat Luke up, not just with Inquisitorius allies. You can just have her as a 3-star with a Zeta and put other characters around her that can beat Luke up for being a slow boy. Remember that. Just keep that in your noggin for later. Now our unique, it's just a scratch. For each other Empire ally present at the start of battle, Ninth Sister gains 5% defense, max health, and tenacity. These effects are doubled for Inquisitorius allies, and each time another Empire ally is damaged by a critical hit, she gains taunt and 50% crit avoidance for 1 turn, and Empire allies gain 20% critical avoidance for 1 turn. If the ally is also Inquisitorius, Ninth Sister recovers 5% health, because they just took Kenobi's ability and they taped it on and then wrote Empire on top of it, which I'm actually so down with. Actually, I really don't mind having another Kenobi effect in here. I think playing around taunts is fun, especially if they talked about adding tank busters back into the game. It's going to be real nice to have someone who just slices through tanks like butter. They have to deal with cleansing them. The team building around armor penetration is nice. I really do enjoy that. So hopefully it comes into this to make it so that we have interesting teams to counter this. But I'm excited. I'm real excited. This is a sick character. I think she's way better than the second sister, like leagues above, personally. Like I guess second sister can hit really hard, but maybe ninth sister can hit harder. I don't know. I really like the dot thing that she's got going on. Not entirely sure it's going to be really useful. Depends on what the other sisters can do, but you know, I can't be mad at this kit. At worst, it has a home with Emperor Palpatine. At best, it is a leader that counters Luke on just on her own, and that's all I can ask for. You know, that's all I can ask for. With that all consumed, all in all, closing thoughts on today's announcement. I'm excited. I'm really excited, actually. I think this State of the Galaxy is what we needed to hear, for sure. Of course, it doesn't give us updates and things like that, right? We only got tidbits of these 2 ships are coming to Star Wars in some way, shape, or form. We got tidbits that we will be getting Razor Crest sometime during Conquest 14, somewhere maybe. They'll tell us in the future. They're giving us insight onto them, basically like trying to figure out, is it worth trying to nerf Night Sister, Zombie, and Daka in some way so that Kylo Ren does not poop all over Lord Vader? That's what they're trying to talk to us about here. Maybe explaining themselves into how they're going to nerf them. Or, sorry, explaining to us that they want to nerf them, but they want to make sure that they're not persecuted for it. And we're going to get the exciting news. We're so ready for gear intervention. Once we get Chirotech on drip, my life becomes way easier. I'm going to be able to catch up so much faster in all of my accounts. It'll be great. I'm excited for that. Hopefully the Grand Arena update is good. I don't know what they're going to update about it. Maybe they're going to address some concerns similar to like people who are doing the Arnold T101 farm of GLs being rushed and having those fights versus other people who don't have GLs in lower brackets. Maybe they'll add that to matchmaking, or maybe they're going to have the what's the AP Games approved farming strategy where They're going to address how, even though they're within 2 or 3 million GP, they're getting matched up versus people who just have twice the roster that they do, maybe 3 times the roster that they do, because that person is lazy comparatively to this person who's putting in work. So they are getting punished for the work that they're putting in a sense. So maybe they'll address something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Omicron updates or whatever. They're the new Zetas. Hopefully they're cool. Hopefully they don't suck, and hopefully they're not game breaking. But that's really it. That's all I've got. And check it out. Look at that. You see that number down there at the video? We speed ran it way better. I told you I could PB. I told you I could PB. It just took a couple of times, okay? It's fine. It's okay. World record, baby. Let's go.